colors.
Yeah, maybe you can tell a bit about your project or excursion or so. You didn't have so much time yesterday.
No, so we are from the Manchester School of Architecture. So we came here yesterday.
Yeah.
And we're here until Monday, and we're doing sort of viewing the area and just checking out the area, what it's like, and what we can find, what we feel is here.
Let's take your stuff.
Yeah, we don't have our brief yet, so we're just getting a general feel of the city.
Okay.
Just seeing what's here, I guess.
Yeah.
Tonight and tomorrow we're in the Urbanist Festival, so we're whizzing around what we find, because we've got to collaborate it all together tomorrow.
Are you here on your own, or is it?
No, there's about 35 of us.
And you're studying architecture in terms of like making buildings.
Yeah.
We kind of do what we like.
Yeah.
So we could do urban design, we could do product design.
Okay, it's not only about buildings, but some of you already said yes, so you're going to you want to build buildings.
I think the main thing about here at the moment in this area is because of the development that's been going on sort of in the past, present, future, looking at kind of the whole collaborative approach that's going on here. We're trying to find out more about it.
Are you also going to see the Phoenix, the lake that is being built in Dortmund?
No,
Have you
that
seen that?
sounds cool.
Yeah, there has been heavy industry, a steel plant that has been dismantled, and they dug a hole and they put some water in there. And there's a lot of buildings around it that have been sold at a premium price, and they're like, yeah, Mediterranean feel and stuff like that. And I hate it a lot. But
A lot of people like it actually.
yeah.
Even people that normally hate like gentrification, like the lake.
You should go there and see that. It's also it's a nice walk around the lake, and there's I think there's a lot to see about project development and how to re-urbanize or how to change an urban brownfield into something new. So that would make sense to do.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? And I'll write it down. So
It's Phoenix See, and See is the lake. Phoenix See in Dortmund. It's just on the opposite side of the city, but it only takes like 20 minutes per train. Phoenix from the others. Phoenix Lake.
Yeah, we spent this morning with Hans.
U41. U41 to
He's a very cool guy.
He's all there.
Yeah. So he took us around the whole place and all the buildings and sort of explained what people are doing. So that was pretty cool.
And what kind of projects are happening here?
Yeah, well, we started as when we all, most of us were students, 5 years ago actually, almost exactly. So we have fifth birthday. And yeah, we started with art projects. We organized like a jury for public art in this quarter. We saw that there were a lot of graffiti guys in this area, so the whole area is quite a large scene of graffiti artists, and we wanted to incorporate them into like the renewal of the quarter, and we did that with by talking to the city administration and to the owners of those. We all see those energy boxes that are standing everywhere, so we took those and made like a small competition who has the best designs, and then we made them styled them somehow and made small projects in the streets with the kids and so on. That was our first project, and then we had several projects about connection between internet and public space. So we had some concepts with that. We had a lot projects with kids and with, let's say, about politics for kids. And yeah, also the urban gardening thing. We have a public garden like they have in so many cities right now. So like just on top of the soil in boxes, like so many do it because a lot of grounds here are contaminated. And that's how we did it. And from that we somehow moved into this aquaponics area. This is also a large field of ours today. And yeah, at the moment we're trying to create upcycling upcycling workshops for interested people. So there are a lot of exhibitions and so on, and we want to get into those exhibitions and just have small, do something with your key holder or like a purse made from Tetra Packs or so.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Jan, drüben hängen die Bilder noch vom Energieverteiler. Wäre doch schlau, die einfach mal zu zeigen.
Ah, yeah, yeah. We can have a look at those energy project. We have
Just follow me.
photographs of it.
Dann können wir dann da weiterreden. Aber ist ein bisschen mehr Platz.
Yeah, follow us.
Great.
Oil, but some are, yeah, the early ones I think are just painted. The paint on those boxes actually only sticks for 2 or 3 years, so that's why most of them are foiled, because it's very sturdy.
Right. Have you had any public response?
Oh yes, of course. So as this was our starting project, at the beginning it was the same, like we call that project Energieverteiler, which means like energy distributors, and in sort of double sense. And yeah, at the beginning, the project and our association was kind of interchanged all the time, but yeah, we of course got into some. This is of course like subculture, and there was a huge exhibition like European Culture of Capital, Capital of Culture. In 2010, and this got a lot of response because it was rather subculture than the higher culture that was promoted within this World 2010. So yeah, a lot of people liked us because of that at the beginning, and we got a good connection to, let's say, to the streets, because we were talking with all the graffiti artists and so on, and yeah, that got us a huge benefit at the beginning, let's say.
When you look at these pictures, you can see how they looked before, and it's easy to argue you can do something different with them because the owner of these boxes isn't happy about let them look like this. And it's, you don't have any further problems after this project with demolition being sprayed again or something like this. They are accepted in a way.
One part of the project was also developing a method box for small children, and then they took the method box to the kindergartens, and the small children, usually they would not go outside and they would not like to go outside, and then they took the children, took them outside and said, yeah, now take a look at your surroundings. What are the places you really like? What are the places you don't like? What would you like to do? And then the children, they really got the kick out of it, and they explored their surrounding, and sometimes they could see, visit the street where someone else was living, so at least they knew, okay, this boy is living there and this boy is living there, and they really liked that a lot. So now these children connected to their sort of surrounding and to the place where they live. Usually they don't do that anymore. They don't go outside other than just go to the place where they play. And that is one part. They want to take this method box and make it available to other kindergartens. So now when someone wants to teach children about their surrounding and how to put on this perspective, they can use this method box with games in it and stuff like that. This is also something that Niels is doing a lot with Florian, building furniture from scrap wood. You can also see it on the side, this is the side in the backyard. This has been one project from another named Sarah. She has been building from these pallets. They just give them away for free. They just want to have documented where the chairs are, and this is also something that Niels and Florian have been building from scrap wood and from the pallets.
Nice.
And it fits into the topic of upcycling. You know, just take something that you usually throw away and build something nice out of it.
You got one in the new building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was morning.
Yeah, that's from the same project. They were built for one project with a local theater. The local theater, they are really good. They are doing a lot of innovative stuff, and they are looking for groups within the city to work with. And they are working with the urbanist, and they are also working with the Chaos Treff, which is a group of people with soldering and computer stuff.
What is the theatre called?
Just normal Schauspielhaus Dortmund, the normal Dortmund theater, the official theater of the city.
Great.
Yeah, they're really good, and they are reaching out to the public.
Yeah.
The intendant was nominated for the Theater Oscar in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Really?
Kai Vogel is-
He's really, really
He's a cool guy. Yeah.
very, very cool guy.
Actually. Okay. Shall we go over to the aquaponics system?
Yeah.
Now that it's stopped raining.
Nimmst du die in das Paket? Ich nehme das Paket mit, oder? Brauchen wir das hier? Ja, Sie ja. This building has been populated by Nazis. When you go down into this direction, there's a larger group of Nazis living in that area of the city, and they used to have this building as their meeting point, which was kind of weird because they met on Wednesdays, and we also met on Wednesdays, and then people would stand outside smoking, and you'd have the guys smoking here from our group, alternative, creative people, and then you had the Nazis here smoking on that side. You know,
I'd have loved to get a picture of that.
Yeah.
and now that the building, they got kicked out, the building was bought by the city, and now they have a youth, something culture, youth cafe.
Okay. Nice.
So the city is trying to do something against the Nazi people. The methods they have are very limited because we don't have that much money in the city.
Yeah.
Difficult.
You mentioned you set up some workshops.
Yeah.
Were they based around upcycling around the city? Who was involved, and what kind of workshops were they based around?
We have different workshops on different topics all the time, developing new workshops and new topics. For example, we had beekeeping workshops 2 times.
Oh, right.
And this upcycling topics is quite new because in the same building where we have the office, there is a guy, Thomas Ziegan, and he's very much into upcycling, so now we are collaborating with him to make these
Okay.
upcycling workshops. And there's one, I think it's a company, I'm not sure, they are offering workshops all the time
Right.
on different topics, and most of their topics are like yoga and healthy food and personal health and stuff like that.
Right.
But they want to go into this whole gardening, whatever area, and so
Like
now we
urban
are collaborating with them. We are offering the contents, and they are offering the infrastructure for the workshops and
To
stuff.
make
like
it happen.
Make it happen, the booking and the program and stuff like that, so that you have a yearly program where you can see which kind of stuff is offered.
And how do you spread awareness? Like, how do you get people involved?
That is one way, because they have a mailing list of all the potential people that would be interested, and then we are working with Facebook, of course, which I personally don't like at all. I hate Facebook. I think it's toxic.
Yeah.
We do have a website that I think is quite good. and all the workshop dates are on the website, and also the reports and stuff like that. This area here is has been the administration complex of the industry that is based in that direction. That direction, that's an area you can buy. The last industry is going to shut down. It's down here. They're making metal sheets, Spundwand.
Right.
If you have the border between land and the river, you can put some metal sheets in there.
Retaining.
Yeah, it's for channels. Yeah.
Right.
But they are shutting down. Did you know that? They're shutting down until the end of the year.
Yeah, and then that
It's
makes
something
it
still for an investor, I think.
Yeah, and you can buy the whole area. It's really large. It's only 16 million euros.
Okay.
But for what you get, it's really a large area. It goes all the way to the harbor, and it goes that direction. And it used this green, was heißt Halle? I don't know what you call this kind of building.
Warehouse?
This green warehouse, it goes 600 meters in that direction, and it used to be a place where they took sheets of metal and made them thinner. And then in the end, when it was thin enough, you can use a press and make some whatever spoons and knives and whatever. So there was a really heavy industry here, and then when it was all shut down, a group of people came in and said, "Oh, we want to use this," and they somehow managed to get in. It was in the 80s, and now they are managing this place, and they have 75 different companies and individuals working here on different topics like programmers, web design, lawyers, a call center, whatever. So now we have 75 companies and people working in this place. And it's all self-governed, sort of. And the guys running this place, they are from the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
But they are really... And it's doch so, oder? I don't see that as an insult, because this guy, Hans-Gerd, he's really... When you have an idea and you need some space, he's listening to it and he's like, and you don't really know what he's thinking, and like a couple of weeks later he's coming and he's like, yeah, we have this one space we want to take this.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. We met him earlier. So
Yeah,
we
Hans
spent-
Gerd, he's cool. Yeah. And the point is that he and his group, they are really helpful because they don't put an administrative hurdle in front of you.
Yeah.
They just say
Right.
they trust you and they just give you the space and they say, yeah, we'll talk about money later. You know? That's really cool. So this is the place we acquired for the aquaponic project. We were searching for some space, and the stuff you see to the left side, that is not rubbish, that's the material one of the guys is working with. He just stores us there, and then we could convince him to give us some space. We helped. In the back of it, there were some was heißt Sträucher? Brombeer bushes. There were some bushes, and we removed the bushes so we had more space down there, and we could use some space here. And then this is the second greenhouse we built this year. And 2 years ago we had a smaller greenhouse where we started the aquaponic project. And we took some IBCs and put some fishes in there and developed that by ourselves. We did not have any money. We tried to get some money, but it was very difficult to convince people about the topic. So in 2013 we decided we don't want to wait any longer. We just took our own money, bought the greenhouse and bought the stuff and did it. And then after you show it to the people, then it becomes much easier to get funding. Yeah. When you have nothing, it's difficult to get other people's money. Yeah. And now this year we could build this much nicer greenhouse, double the size, much better quality, and we are in cooperation with the manufacturer of these greenhouses. Their offices are not far away from here, and they are also convinced about this whole topic of aquaponics, and they also see it as a way to expand their business maybe, so that maybe people want to set up an aquaponic system, they also need a greenhouse, and then they can sell the greenhouses. The method of aquaponics, I don't know if you are familiar with that, you just take fishes, you use the fishes and the waste from the fishes to fertilize the plants. And the plants are in a hydroponic system. We have some of those with a substrate, and some of those with deep water culture where you only have water and a raft on top. So if you like, we can go inside. Everybody who wants to see the fishes has to go up there and just look into the fish tank.
What's the type of fish?
It's tench.
Okay, right.
It's a carp-like fish.
Right.
This year we have been building 3 systems. We spent a lot of time in building the system, but we had little time to actually maintain
Is
it.
it wearing the black thing here?
Yeah, you can go up here. It's safe. And just take a look inside and try to see them. And if you like, you can put the water inflow. Put it over here. Just take the pink pipe and. So it becomes better or easier to see the fishes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. On a larger scale, would you farm the fishes as well, or?
Yeah, that's what we are doing with the University of South Westphalia in Soest. That's where I work now. I got a job there just for this topic of aquaponics. So there we are rearing a different kind of fish in a bigger system, and we are doing research like how well do the plants do and how does this whole stuff work. So this group here, we are working on community aquaponics and home aquaponics. And we also are thinking about making a business out of it, like figuring out the best system and then sell the parts and sell the concept and sell the greenhouses and stuff and help people do it. And with the university we are aiming for 2 areas. First area is urban brownfields, where you sometimes have residual industry with maybe residual heat. So if there is an aluminum production or glass production, they have a lot of excess heat, or maybe some power plant or something like that. And those are the places where we want to set up bigger systems to get the production into the city. And the second area is farmers who are having a biogas plant, and the excess heat from the biogas plant can be used to heat the fishes and heat the system. So those are the 2 paths we are going to with the university. And it's been crazy because this topic of aquaponics is really like
Exploded,
a lot of people doing it, a lot of interest, a lot of media attention, and we barely have the time to really do stuff because this year, as I said, we have been building 3 systems like this, and we are still working on a 4th system that is going to be indoors. It's going to be in a place where students can learn about biology. It's a center for biology for pupils. And it's going to be in the new building. They are building it right now. So there will be a smaller greenhouse, maybe like 1/2 of this, and we are building an indoor system for that. It's always difficult to get funding, but if you have something to show, then it becomes easier. And then you can we are doing a lot of networking, talking with people on different levels, talking to politicians, talking to people from the administration, talking with manufacturers, and trying to build a network to become better at what we are doing. So if you are the architects, I have to say, I have to admit, I've been working with a couple of architects in my former job, and I think most of the architects I've met, I would like to slap them in the face. I hate what you're doing. I hate it with a vengeance. I have to say, I see those buildings, and they are building it right now, and you are building an infrastructure that is going to last like 100 years. Do your fucking jobs. Don't build the buildings like you did it 100 years ago. We have, the future is now. So take the technology you have now and make better building than those you have been building like 100 years ago. I see those buildings, and they are made out of bricks. Fuck! What are you doing? Do some outer wall, build a structure that is capable of holding whatever you put inside of it. Then you have the floors, and put all the infrastructure in the floors. And don't put any walls inside. Why the fuck are you doing that? Just make some movable walls. I hate it. I see all those buildings in the Phoenix, at the Phoenix Lake. You see that, and I guess those architects, they are really proud of what they have been doing there. I'm a programmer as well. You can write a Python script that makes the architecture for those buildings. That takes like, I've seen those, I can download a script that makes buildings like that. I don't get it why any architect is making any money on of those buildings. And I'm pretty sure they made a shitload of money with those buildings. But it sucks. They put some climate, how do you say that, Klimaanlage, some air conditioning into those buildings. Really? I'm like, what? Air condition? We're in Germany. If you have to put an air conditioner into a building in 2015, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. So that's what I think about your colleagues.
That was quite off topic.
What? Well, yeah. If you are building something, put something green on the top. You don't, in the Phoenix Lake, you will not see one single building that has something green on top. Why? We will have, with the climate change, we will have, I don't know, what's the English term? Starkwetterereignisse. We will have more extreme weather events. So when it's going to rain hard. If you just have a normal rooftop, with the normal usual runoff that you have been doing for 150 years. The drainage system does not have the capacity to take all this water and to handle it. So the drainage system in the future will just overflow. That's a problem we are going to have in the cities. If you put something on top that just soaks up the water, at least for a limited amount, you are helping the city. So use the space to put at least like something green on top, or put a greenhouse on top for production, or for building a nice space for people to be, or at least put some solar on top, photovoltaics. You don't see, there are 2 buildings out of like 150 million buildings in the Phoenix Lake, 2 with photovoltaics on top of it. And I'm like, why? What is going on? Then you have all these buildings, they have large window areas to the south. And I'm like, yeah, that's nice for a view. But you are going to have excess heat in your building. Yeah, that's why they put air conditioning there. And I'm like, come on! Just use the structure. Are you familiar with a split level house? Why isn't anybody doing it? Why? These buildings there, they are between 300,000 and 500,000 euros. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's enough money for.
I know.
Yeah, and nobody's doing it.
Unfortunately, it's really hard. I completely agree with what you're saying, like 110%.
Yeah.
It's just that I suppose that, as you were saying before, with like the greenhouse, you have to have something to show that it's working, and most people don't have anything to show that it's working, and therefore they go for the standard.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the risk is time.
It's the client as well, because at the end of the day, as an architect, believe me, because we've all done like work experience and stuff, so you start off having like great ideas, but then you're like, this costs too much, this costs too much, this costs too much, so you have to cut and cut.
Yeah, they need the double garage for the Porsche, and that's why there's no money left for the good stuff.
It's so true, and it's very sad.
Yeah. I think including greenhouses into buildings is a really nice way to do something new and to capture the sun and to make a new room, to add a new room into the building that can be multi-purpose. You don't have to do production, you can just make it a nice place to be. But then you capture the sun, it will be very hot in the summer and might be cold in the winter, so you need to have some good ideas on what to do and how to handle it.
And the usual thing to do is, if you want to have something like this, we'll put heating on.
Yeah.
And a fan on the top. Thank you very much.
Yeah, any more questions about aquaponics or my opinion on architecture? I don't hate you. Yes.
We're hoping for a better generation.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
I hope, yeah.
I think the generation that were building the buildings you're talking about, probably, they didn't have the same education about climate change that we have. So they're just stuck in the same process that it doesn't matter when it does matter, and we understand that it does matter more than we do.
They came from post-industrial revolution, so their minds are set to that standard of just churning out stuff. So hopefully now change will come.
But that's really convincing work you will have to do. You have to lead the revolution, and you have to just kick them in the face and be like, no, shut the fuck up, we're going to do it this way, because the way you want to have it is stupid. And I don't know whether you captured 2 bits of information. One bit of information is that the PIC, the Potsdam Institute of Climate Change, they have been looking at the weather data. It's not a simulation, it's not something they think happens or will happen, it's not about a model, but they just captured the information about the temperature from the last 20 years, and they could already show that we are already having a significant amount of more extreme summers and winters. It's already happening, and they just showed that with data, so those are facts and not something that can be questioned or argued about or debated. So we already see the climate change, and we already see that it's really affecting the place we live in. The second point is climate scientists were surprised that south of Greenland there is a place that is cooling down against the trend. And they thought about it and they were like, yeah, this is the melting of the ice of Greenland. So the melting ice shield of Greenland is clearly showing in the data, and in the last couple of years they have always been saying that the Atlantic stream, like the how's it called? You know, this big rotational stream that is transporting warm water to our area and then going down beneath the Arctic and then going back to the Gulf Stream. That's the word. They always said like, yeah, the Gulf Stream, don't worry about it, and nothing's going to change there. And now they see the Gulf Stream is changing. And that's really bad news. I think you don't see that on television. But if the Gulf Stream is changing and you take a look at where we are on the globe, we are on the same level as Canada and Iceland and stuff like that. So it's gonna, if that really breaks down, shit is going to hit the fan. So we have to be prepared for that. We have to be prepared for hotter summers on one side and more extreme weather events, more rain, more runoff, and then we have to be prepared for much colder times as well. And I think we need the infrastructure for that. And the topic we are working on is like sustainable food production, but I think we also need the infrastructure for people where they stay. And then at the Phoenix Lake you will see it's like one building after the other, but it's separate buildings for one family, huge buildings in my opinion. But if you put more buildings together, you become much more heat efficient and you can share the infrastructure and whatever. But they are still building single houses for one single family. There's nothing about community, there's nothing about sharing, there's nothing about working together. It's like a building and a fence. And then the inhabitants, they start to complain. They're like, yeah, when I look out of the window, I can see my neighbor. It's like, could be your friend, could be your community, could be someone you work with, or someone you share something with, or you share, for example, we need storage space in the basement for cooling down food. You could have a shared room that is cooled down so you can just put your stuff in there. Why are you, if, for example, a refrigerator is stupid. You have a small space that is cold on the inside, but on the outside it heats up the surrounding. So it has to shield itself against the heating up of the surrounding. It is producing by itself. If you take a refrigerator and it's it's nice to have one, but the basic concept of a refrigerator is stupid. Why don't we take the excess heat of a refrigerator and we put it into the room where we are drying our clothes? Or why don't we use that heat and put it into the bathroom? So next to the kitchen I could have a room where I put the refrigerator and the room has more storage space, but the warm side of the refrigerator is in the bathroom, so the bathroom becomes warm. And the refrigerator now is in the room and it's cooling down the room it is next to. So inside the refrigerator you have 0 degrees or something like that, but it will also cool down the room around it, so you can put your tomatoes just on the shelf. You don't have to have the stuff on the refrigerator, you can just put it on the shelf and maybe you have 10 or 12 degrees in that room. Just put that one next to the kitchen because you need the stuff from the refrigerator. And it's concepts like these that are not being thought about and not realized. The only thing you have to do is just separate the warm side of the refrigerator from the box and put it somewhere else. And instantly you have a new concept that is smart. But we need architects and engineers that really do it and propose it. And we need the room to do it, and we need the technology to do it. But it's simple solutions in general. My speech is over. I'm sorry. I'm very, sometimes I'm really angry about when I look at the world and see what people are doing, I become angry. But that's what is also the motivation behind what we are doing. Because we want to change stuff, we need to change. We cannot go on like this. Okay. Anything else you want to see? You want question?
I don't know if you are aware about urban agriculture and the integration of the agriculture with the city, etc. There is a site ruaf.org, all about this. And they publish a magazine that is easy to find there. The number 27 was about climate mitigation, etc. And they have that issue of the magazine has many articles about the green route and its importance to the climate mitigation, etc. Explained very well by him, but there you can find more information, including about what New York is doing to control the runoff of the rain heavier each year. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good one.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming.
Please change the world.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Hi. Kassenhaus. Wolfgang, Entschuldigung. Would you like to join us?